This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from okay to very high. Know your sleep score with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. I think a lot of people naturally, if you say, what can hypnosis help with? They might say, quitting smoking or losing weight. And quitting smoking is always up there. Most people know at least one person that have used hypnotherapy and they're just a non-smoker from that point onwards. This client that I was working with was doing amazing things with their health. They were getting stronger, they were getting leaner, they were making great choices, they were reducing alcohol. Generally, things were going really, really well. But they had met up with some old friends, and on that meetup, they started drinking, partly down to peer pressure and kind of connection. And then afterwards, they started again taking a nicotine pouch, which they used to be really addicted to and then hadn't for about, nearly 2 months, but they started again. And the problem with nicotine is that it's a very addictive substance that gives very little. And actually the main thing that it gives, and there are some slight nootropic benefits of nicotine, but it comes at a price. And that price is that it can constrict the blood vessels. It can affect sleep. It can make people irritable. And one of my favorite metaphors for nicotine is that it's like wearing shoes that are way too small just for the relief of taking them off. Because once you are addicted to nicotine, the cravings and the withdrawals kick in quite quickly. And then the only way you get to make them go away is by consuming nicotine. And that's what traps you. And most people will know someone that has tried to quit smoking or vaping or some way of using nicotine for ages, and it's just got a vice-like grip on them. This hypnosis session taps into two key things that were relevant to this client. One is that their natural identity linked to freedom and vitality. That doesn't apply to everyone, but it did for this particular client. And secondly, that they had this experience fairly recently of having almost 2 months without nicotine, and they felt great. So they had evidence through their own emotions that life is better without that. So you're going to hear some quite graphic metaphors that link to parasites and control and coercion, partly because this particular client really wanted freedom as their core value, and it really taps into that at the identity level. It specifies nicotine pouches because that was the way that this client was getting their nicotine. For other people, it might be vaping, it might be cigarettes, it might be, I spoke with a lady a few months back and her thing was the nicotine mints, the actual smoking cessation products she became addicted to. Nicotine is a horribly addictive substance that does nothing other than keep you addicted to the thing. There are very little benefits to nicotine, slight nootropic, so it can give slight concentration benefits, but at a huge cost. And that is a very bad trade, especially when you could have something like caffeine, where the addictive qualities aren't anywhere near as strong as nicotine, and that also increases alertness. And if you get your caffeine from green tea, you're getting all of the let's say micronutrients and the compounds and the things that are very good for your body. So nicotine simply isn't worth it. So if you want to change your relationship with nicotine, two options. One, if you tend to be addicted to nicotine pouches, this session might be useful for you. And if you want something a bit more bespoke, either look for Hypnosis to Quit Smoking. I've got loads of sessions actually in the portfolio, in the playlists here, or you can click the link in the description and reach out to me, because the costs of nicotine addiction, particularly if it's smoking, could be thousands and thousands each year. And for the cost of 2 or 3 sessions, you make that money back in literally a few weeks. So if you are ready to quit smoking or free yourself from a nicotine addiction, click the link in the description and figure out how to work with me from there. For now, though, you might really get some benefit from this session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that slow, calm breath of relaxation. And as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of release, as if any recent tension, stress, worries, even regret start to leave your body in that outward breath. And when you breathe in, keep breathing in for longer than you normally would. And as you exhale, allow the outward breath to continue, to keep breathing out until there's nothing left, a vacuum there in the diaphragm, so that when you breathe in, you breathe in deep there from the belly. That's it. Because the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your physical body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And the power of that imagination can lead to a place of profound change, to move away from control and toward freedom. That's it. Find that rhythm, that slow, regular rhythm, where the breathing just takes place all by itself. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to feel where pride is located, somewhere in your body. And there's much to be proud of. Proud of goals that you've achieved, a relationship you've built, milestones and successes. And as you feel that wonderful feeling of pride, allow it to morph into gratitude, because so much of your life is good. Even if health isn't perfect, it could be much worse. And so many things that you've done has moved your health, your energy, your vitality in exactly the right direction. And as you tap into that gratitude, expand it. That's it. As I count down from 10 to 1, I want you to focus on different parts of your body, scanning for tension, and then setting the intention to release. And I wonder if you could imagine a warm golden light at the very top of your head. And then just imagine this light moves slowly downward, almost like a halo that dissolves tension as it goes. Perhaps you could imagine it moving across your scalp, releasing the muscles around your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, all of it just softening now. And imagine that glowing light moving down through your neck, across your shoulders, and you may notice just how much tension you were holding there, perhaps without even realizing it. Just letting it go now, melting away. As it continues down through your chest, your stomach, your lower back. Every breath and every exhale taking you deeper into this comfortable, calm, resourceful state. The light continues down through your hips, your thighs, your calves, all the way to the very soles of your feet, until your whole body feels heavy, warm, limp and loose, completely supported, totally at ease. And I want you to find yourself going deeper within. Maybe there's a memory that you have of a time when you felt free. Total freedom. Maybe you were in nature. Maybe something was happening and you felt freedom. Utterly free. And I want you to imagine being in that place. Because a place within a memory, within your imagination, connected to a wonderful feeling of freedom, can put you here in this state. A part of your mind that creates automatic behaviors, your habits, your instincts. And this part is open and receptive and ready to receive new ideas, to reaffirm old ways of living that just worked for you. These new ideas aren't my ideas. They're ideas from within you, ideas about what you want and what works, what gives you more of the life you desire, connected to your truest values, your deepest self. And imagine from this place of freedom that you can travel back or forwards in time. And I want you to observe a version of you not too long ago. I want you to see that version of you that had been free from nicotine for at least a month, and maybe 40 or 45 days. And I want you to think of a specific time, maybe a specific moment, maybe a morning when you woke up and nicotine just simply wasn't on your mind. or a day at work between clients where several hours have passed and any desire to have a pouch or nicotine was just absent. And I want you to observe that version of you, see that version of you that was free. Free from desire, free from the need, free from the stories, free from the pull of it. And when you found that memory, that time when you were free, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that version of you. Feel what it would feel like to have the freedom of being disconnected from any physiological connection to nicotine and free of most of any psychological connections. You simply didn't want it. And I want you to feel what you could feel in your body at that time. Notice how you moved, how your body felt. Think of how different it was when you were exercising. Maybe you could be more intense, run for longer. Maybe you were sleeping better. Maybe food tasted noticeably better. Connect to that feeling of not just freedom, but power, strength, vitality. And maybe you notice something else. Something had returned. A quiet confidence, that ease, that quiet knowing that your body was fully yours, fully capable, fully alive. This is who you are. This is who you actually are. Not the version of you that is dependent, under the influence, under the control, the coercion. You are not that version infected with a parasite, making choices and decisions for you. You are a free, fully in control, autonomous entity. You decide your life, no one else. And I wonder where in your body you feel this feeling of freedom. And if it has a location, just point to it. And just imagine it expanding, glowing, vibrating, resonating. Feel it fully and know that in this state, this version of you, it still exists, it's still accessible, and this version of you couldn't be forced to have nicotine. This version of you that feels free would not succumb to peer pressure, not succumb to temptation. This version of you that is fully free would not trade that freedom, that vitality in for anything. That freedom was waiting for you, and it's here right now. Your unconscious mind can frame nicotine as a friend or an enemy, an ally or a traitor. But nicotine is not part of who you are, and it never was. Nicotine is a substance with a singular purpose, and that purpose is to make itself necessary, to make itself feel like part of your routine, part of your identity, even though it has no business being anywhere near your identity at all. Nicotine was not who you were. It was just a substance that you used until it started to use you. Think about what nicotine actually does. It enters your bloodstream. It constricts your blood vessels. It restricts the flow of the very life force running through you. And then, cruelly, it tells you that without it, you'll feel worse. You'll be less productive, less calm, less you. See nicotine for what it really is. A lie. A lie that exists purely so that the addiction can perpetuate itself. And just like a parasite, it doesn't care about you. It only cares about its own survival. But your body has been giving you clues all this time. In that period where you were free of it, everything gets better. Sleep gets better. Blood flows the way it's meant to flow to every part of you at the right time in the right way. That irritation is absent. You're more level, more yourself. Your body has run an experiment, and the results are in. When you were free, blood moved the way it should, and your heart didn't have to fight through constricted vessels, and your legs felt it during runs. Your performance in the gym felt it, and even the most very intimate parts of your life felt it. But when that thought came back, and then the pouches came back, so did the restriction. But it wasn't just restricting your blood. It was restricting your life, your choices, the very essence of who you are. That constriction, the stealing of blood flow from the places it matters most. And your body told you immediately. It always does. And the truth your unconscious mind now accepts completely is that nicotine and full vitality cannot coexist in your body. They are incompatible. Every pouch is a direct trade, and it is always a bad trade. Stimulation for just a few minutes, but you have to sacrifice the very things you value most. And that trade, it's available to you. But when you're free, you would never make that trade. Your unconscious mind will now refuse it automatically, like it doesn't exist, instinctively. Decision, all the way back from Latin times, means to cut off. And when the truest, freest, deepest part of you decides, truly decides, well, at that point, the very possibility of buying it, using it, does not exist. You've cut off the possibility. And before we return, we need to reactivate your most empowered identity. And I want to speak to the deepest part of you now. The part of you that built a business from nothing. The part that chose a life on your terms. The part that moved home, changed career, that made choices other people would never dare to make. Freedom is not just something you value. It is who you are. It is the operating system underneath everything you do. Every major decision in your life has been consciously or unconsciously gravitating toward freedom and away from control. So consider this. If nicotine is restriction and nicotine is control, is it not the opposite of everything you stand for? A substance that demands loyalty and that you serve it hourly. A tyrant boss, you work for it. That punishes you when you don't comply. Irritability, crankiness, cravings. It stalks you from your home environment into your work, into your social life, into your most private moments. It doesn't belong there. And it decided it had a say in all of them. If your unconscious mind can see nicotine for what it truly is now, something sinister, coercive, controlling, restrictive, let me know by nodding your head. And the truth will set you free. And when you see nicotine in its truest form, you simply don't want it. From this moment, whenever a craving appears, your unconscious mind immediately connects it to its source. A parasite desperately trying to maintain control. And your automatic instinctive response is simply no. And not because of willpower, and not because of discipline, but because that option, that choice, is no longer compatible with who you are. A free, autonomous entity does not negotiate with things that try to own, possess, and control them. And I want you to imagine what life would look like, free over the next few days and perhaps weeks. Sometimes freedom requires certain rituals, disposing of certain things. Sometimes it requires a public declaration, a public commitment. Or sometimes it might be something dramatic that just interrupts that pattern. I want you to get a sense that you can start to link disgust, revulsion, repulsion with the very thought of buying or using. I want you to think of it in such a way that it makes you want to feel like vomiting. want you to think of the most disgusting thing that someone could put in your mouth and link it to the idea of these nicotine patches. The more you think of it in that way, the more disgusting and repulsive and stomach churning it feels. Imagine it has an awful stench creeping up your nose. And I want you to get a sense that the more you think about it, the more disgusted you feel. And if you had to fight for your freedom, how hard would you fight? This wants your freedom. It wants to own you, control you. It wants you to obey it. And it will use every trick in the book. It will try and convince you that you need it, that it will help with concentration, that it will help with productivity, that you need it if you feel tired or fatigued. And if you believe it, it starts to take back control. I want you to unlock disgust and defiance. That you're vigilant, on guard. And also, it will wait for a moment of weakness. Peer pressure, alcohol. That's when it will try and make its move. But forewarned is forearmed. You know its battle plan now, and you can defend against it. And if all parts of your unconscious are now committed to your freedom, willing to fight for that freedom, and defend that freedom when it's hard-earned, getting all of the glory of that freedom, health, vitality, connection, stability, pride, gratitude. Let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to locate that feeling of absolute certainty. This isn't an intention. This is an identity level decision. This is who you are. You are free. And the nicotine wants to take that freedom from you. Will you let it? And as you hold that thought, it's time to return all the way back to the here and now. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.